In a small countryside surrounded by green hills and dusty roads, there lived a kind woman named Amy. She had one son, James, her only child, her heart, her reason to smile. Since her husband died years ago, James was all she had left in the world. Every morning, Amy woke up before sunrise to work. She washed people's clothes, carried water from the river, and sold small fruits in the market. Her hands were rough, her body tired, but when she came home and saw her son smile, everything felt worth it. James always said, "Mama, one day I'll take care of you. You won't have to work anymore." And Amy would smile softly. "My son, I don't need riches. I just need you safe beside me." Years passed and James grew strong and handsome. He was known in the village for his good heart and helping hands. But one dark season, war came to their land. Soldiers marched through the villages, taking young men to fight for the country. One morning, Amy heard shouting near her house. She ran to the door and saw soldiers reading names from a list. Then she heard one that made her heart freeze. "James Carter!" Amy ran toward them crying, "Please don't take my son. He's all I have." But the soldiers only said, "Every man must serve. It's the law." James held his mother's shaking hands. "Mama, don't cry. I'll come back soon, I promise. You always said God watches us. I believe that." Tears filled Amy's eyes as she touched his face. "My son, listen to me. Pray every day. When you feel afraid, remember, God is with you. He will bring you home." The next morning, he left with the other young men. Amy followed him to the end of the road. She stood there until he disappeared from sight. The wind blew softly through the trees, and she whispered, "May God walk beside you, my child. May he be your light in the darkness." Days passed. Weeks passed, but no letter came. No sound of his voice. Only silence. Still, every evening, Amy lit a candle by the window and prayed, "Lord, you gave me this child. Please protect him. Even if I never see him again, let him feel my love wherever he is." Months later, when the sun was setting over the quiet hills, a soldier appeared in the distance. He walked slowly toward her small house, his uniform dirty, his eyes full of sadness. In his hands, he held a small wooden box. Amy's heart began to shake. She stepped outside and whispered, "Where is my son? Where is James?" The soldier looked down and said softly, "Mother, your son was brave. He saved many lives. And before he closed his eyes, he told me to give you this." He held out the box with trembling hands. Amy stood frozen at the door. The sound of the soldier's voice felt far away, as if the world had suddenly gone quiet. The small wooden box in his hands looked heavy, not because of its weight, but because of what it carried inside. With trembling fingers, Amy took the box. Her eyes were full of tears. She whispered, "Thank you, son. May God bless you for bringing this to me." The soldier bowed his head. "He was a good man," he said softly. "Even in his last breath, he prayed for you." Then he turned and walked down the dusty road, leaving Amy alone with the box in her hands. She went inside and sat near the candlelight. Her hands shook as she opened it slowly. Inside was a folded letter, a small cross necklace, and a piece of cloth stained with dust and dried tears. Amy held the necklace to her chest and began to cry. It was the one she had given James when he was a child. She remembered saying, "Wear this always, my son. It will remind you that God is near," and he had kept it until his last day. With shaking hands, she opened the letter. The handwriting was weak, but the words were clear. "My dear Mama, if you are reading this, it means I couldn't come home like I promised. Please don't cry too much. You always told me that heaven is not far away. Now I know it's true. I'm not in pain, Mama. I'm in peace. I wanted to thank you for everything. For your prayers, your love, and your faith. You were right. God never left me. Even in the noise of war, I felt his presence holding me. When you miss me, look at the stars. I'll be the brightest one, shining above your house. Don't stop smiling, Mama. I'm home now, and one day we'll meet again. Your son forever, James, Amy pressed the letter to her heart and cried until her tears ran dry. She whispered, "My son, I will look at the stars every night. You kept your promise. You came home, just in another way." From that day, Amy's house was never truly empty. Every evening she lit a candle by the window, and when the sky turned dark, a bright star always appeared above her home. The villagers said, "That's her son watching over her." That light never fades. Years passed, and Amy grew old, but she never stopped lighting that candle. Each time she whispered, "Good night, my son. I'll see you when God calls me home." And one quiet night, when the candle burned low and the stars shined bright, Amy closed her eyes and went to meet her son at last.